Let's talk about gameplay features that are quite promising, and mainly gameplay features that exist now in Paralives. Obviously, there's plenty of aspects to Paralives, like building and character customization. Those are big topics on their own. But I'm a gameplay guy. I'm all in it for putting the life sim in life simulation. I don't mind a good dollhouse experience and letting my creativity and RP drive the sandbox nature of it all, but that said, gameplay for me, that's where it's at. And Paralives has some really interesting ideas that I'd like to talk about and maybe get some good conversations in the comments about it. So quick preface, this is an early access game from an indie studio. This is an ambitious project that relied heavily on Patreon backers for their support, mine included. I was a card-carrying member since July 2023, and it was awesome to see that in my last video where I talk about the game more broadly, to meet Patreon backers who supported the game much earlier than me. But I say this so that we're all made aware that I harbor implicit biases towards Paralives because of that investment, although consumer-sided investment, an investment nonetheless. Okay, but let's just get into it because I am fumbling this script and I need to move on. So, Storyteller customization, need I say more? With this, you're able to tailor your experience the way you want and play the game with rules you set up. And look, I've put an ungodly amount of hours into RimWorld, so I'm excited for the possibilities here. But even so, if I was looking at this from the Dollhouse sandbox experience, there's still much that you can do here in terms of like giving your para tons of money and or making sure that their future possibilities are mainly positive outcomes, i.e. fine-tuning your experience. This allows you to RP in any which way you'd like. And from the life sim aspect, you can create challenges or set up occurrences that you won't manually have to always be involved in as the system operates in the background, allowing you to immerse yourself better in your para's life. Kind of pun intended? Not really. I didn't even think of that as I was writing it. I can only imagine the possibilities like increasing rent, weather changes, rejection difficulty, job rank difficulty, appliance malfunction rate. The concept here really opens the world up for more nuance in gameplay, and all of that lends itself well with their existing gameplay loop, meaning their job system. So right now, I am enjoying the concept of working to increase job ranks, which gives you an incremental raise, or using the rank system to get a perk that can benefit you as you work. I think that adds an element of strategy that's still in its, incredibly early phase in design. But with all that said, criticism here can get a bit dodgy only because I'm not fully in the know where they plan to take the system entirely, but I like what I'm seeing so far, and I like the idea of working two jobs. When applying for work, you can choose a schedule and you can hold down two jobs, which is just so cool to me because you can feed in that work experience to combo off of pursuing a higher titled job position later on should you want to, and it's perfectly viable to stay as one job role and earn a sustainable income as you use ranks to increase your job rate. So all of this revolves around the application point system. So to apply for a job, you're given a score called application points, and those requirements tell you if you can apply for that job. Application points can be based off of your para's work experience in the field. I think this equates to how many days worked. Do let me know if that's on key, but specific skill requirements add to this, and all of it totals to the application score. So you can very well have more points in certain areas that can still qualify you to take a job role. So now going back a bit about vertical promotion and the idea of leaving your current job for a higher paying title, while I think grounded in realism, it doesn't really inspire variety and completely captures the many different avenues your paras can live by. I do think that there is a happy medium when it comes to taking higher job roles, or even working at a job adjacent the roles that you're working in, for perhaps a school, company, foundation in the same field, that kind of thing. Right now, to have a higher job title, you must apply to a different company, which can be true in real life, but that's not always the case, and perhaps an idea to foster would be to use application points, or the idea of which to spend on the company that you work for currently to help increase your job title, or even your job rank can do that for you. One of the cool things about rabbit holes, and rabbit holes are places your para disappears into that implies activity, is that you open up more opportunities in your town to host a variety of offices, building spaces, workplaces, etc. So you can have a rival company or a more than one restaurant that try and poach, or that would try to poach your para to work for them. And there can definitely be a lot of verticality with a job system that they've already built in. And who goes to say that a system like that can't open up more possibilities and more opportunities to create even like custom jobs in the future? This, of course, is tremendously down the line. These are just fun things that you can really, think about as you play it, because the systems that are in the game right now are just that unique. Now, the conversation meter, I like the idea of it. What's working for me is the player engagement, the intentionality, the interaction types, and possibilities. There is definitely potential here to expand on this feature. It feels like a focused way of looking at how relationships organically build over time, and it makes the impact of which feel more meaningful as you're going out of your way to choose interactions that will benefit or hinder the growth of your given relationship. This gives you another fun way to loop in your para's individuality as you use interactions that are unique to them and their given unique personalities. What could be interesting is if you could set like a default way for your para to interact with other paras, but on whole it's like really cool to see how group conversations and interactions can play out. You can raise certain skills at this time and increase relationship status, sometimes across the board, which is cool, but this definitely needs more area of work. But just to have the conversation system to be the way it is now is just really interesting to me, and I think it opens up, again, a lot more possibilities and potential to explore down the line. But on that note about relationships, I like the diversity, I like the many options, the categories, and the classifications. I am intrigued by the idea of nuances in the relationship system, and right now the systems feel pretty one-sided, but that's simply because NPC relationship autonomy has been mentioned to be released later. So it's clear that there are plenty of features planned for this later down the line, so it's important to keep that in mind. But with all that said, relationships look to be more dynamic in future. I will say I hope that some relationship statuses do get revisited, as they may appear redundant or excessive. For example, romantic interest versus secret crush, because there's a denied secret crush status relationship. Does that imply that there is a denied interest? Ultimately, I'm a fan of at a glance or accessible reading of UI that doesn't feel too cluttered or overly excessive or complicated in certain areas. But understandably, gameplay in totality has fun and unique foundations that time will tell how well it gets built. I want to thank you all so much for watching. I do appreciate that. And I appreciate you. And I hope to see you in the next one, whatever the next one may be. So until then, I will see you then. Bye for now. How long have I been doing this outro? And I always find ways to mess it up. It's like when the mic comes on, all of a sudden the way I think something should be said or written, it just goes out the window. Man. Anyways, bye y'all.